we are told he is a monster, a prodigy who, in a single night, slaughtered his entire family, his mother, his father, his clan. A traitor who abandoned his village to join the most infamous terrorist organization in the world. This is the reality we are shown. But our reality is forged by what we know and what we are allowed to know. What if this reality was a lie? A carefully constructed stage play designed to hide a truth far more tragic and far more heroic than we could ever imagine? This is the story of a man who chose to bear the hatred of the entire world, all for a reason greater than life itself. A reason that became the guiding philosophy of his path. This is the story of Uchiha Itachi. The philosophy of Itachi Uchiha was not born in a library, nor in a dojo. It was born in hell. At the tender age of 4, during the Third Great Ninja War, his father, Fugaku, took him not to a playground, but to a battlefield littered with corpses. Fugaku, a hero of the war, saw this as a lesson. He told his son, "This is the role of a shinobi, to fight, to kill, and to die." He saw war as a necessary function of their world. But Itachi, the child, saw something different. He did not see duty. He saw a meaningless nightmare. In that moment, he made a promise to himself. He would become strong. He would become the strongest shinobi in the world. Not to fight and kill, but to erase fighting and killing from the face of the earth. He would create a world of peace. This vow, this heavy burden, found its focus with the birth of his younger brother, Sasuke. Suddenly, his abstract goal of peace had a face. He now wanted to become strong, not just to end all conflict, but to create a world where his innocent brother could live and smile, untouched by the horrors he had witnessed. For Itachi, Sasuke became the living symbol of the peace he so desperately sought to create. Itachi's genius was undeniable. He graduated from the academy in months, became a genin at 7, and was praised as the prodigy of his generation. But his wisdom far outstripped his age. He thought not like a child, or even a shinobi, but like a Hokage. He studied the history of his clan, his village, and the entire world, observing people and understanding them without bias. This wisdom allowed him to see the darkness growing within his own family. After the Nine Tails attack, the Uchiha clan was unjustly suspected and isolated to the corner of the village. This bred resentment and a desire for rebellion. At only 5 years old, Itachi saw the fatal flaw of his clan, their inability to separate their personal pride from the greater good of the village. He saw the curse of hatred that flowed through the Uchiha bloodline, a pride that festered into a belief that their strength entitled them to power. He understood that this path led only to more conflict. In contrast, he embraced the will of fire, the belief that the village, as a collective community, was more important than any single clan. His philosophical leaning was cold, yet clear. When Danzo posed a utilitarian dilemma, would you kill one sick person to save 9 others? Itachi answered without hesitation, yes. For him, the action that saves the most lives, the action that preserves peace for the greater number, was always the correct one, no matter the personal cost. He was a genius, but he was utterly alone in his way of thinking, an outcast within his own home. To preserve the peace, Itachi became a double agent. He joined the Anbu Black Ops, officially as a spy for his father, but in secret he fed information about the Uchiha's planned coup d'etat to the 3rd Hokage and the village elders. His isolation deepened. His own clan grew suspicious of him. His only true confidant, his brother-in-arms, Shisui Uchiha, shared his desire for peace. Together, they planned to use Shisui's powerful visual prowess to stop the coup without bloodshed. But their plan was foiled by the man who lurked in the shadows of Konoha, Danzo Shimura. Danzo stole one of Shisui's eyes, believing his methods were the only way. With their peaceful option destroyed, a wounded Shisui made one final fateful choice. He entrusted his remaining eye to Itachi, and then took his own life, not in despair, but as a sacrifice. His death awakened Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, and more importantly, it taught Itachi the ultimate lesson of a shinobi, the value of self-sacrifice. Shisui's death was the final push. Danzo, the master manipulator, had perfectly isolated Itachi. He knew Itachi's love for his brother, his loyalty to the village, and his immense psychological burden. He cornered the young genius and gave him a false dilemma, an impossible choice. Option 1. Allow the Uchiha coup to happen. This would trigger a civil war, weaken Konoha, and likely invite a fourth great ninja war. Countless thousands would die, including, most likely, Sasuke. Option 2. Take the entire burden onto your own shoulders. Slaughter the Uchiha clan before they can strike, prevent the war, and save the village. Guided by his cold utilitarian logic and his boundless love for his brother, Itachi made his choice. He chose to become a monster to prevent a catastrophe. Under the cold light of the moon, Itachi executed his mission. He moved like a ghost, slaughtering his clansmen, his friends, his relatives. But this was not a massacre born of rage. It was an execution filled with grief. The most heartbreaking moment came when he faced his own parents. His father, Fugaku, and his mother, Mikoto, did not fight back. They understood. In their final words, they told their son they were proud of him and asked only that he take care of Sasuke. But for Sasuke, there could be no understanding. Itachi's plan required a second, even crueler sacrifice. He had to sacrifice his brother's love. He used his Sharingan to torture Sasuke, forcing him to watch the murder of their parents over and over. He planted a seed of pure hatred, telling Sasuke to live a pathetic life, clinging to a desire for revenge. He crafted a new reality for Sasuke, where he was no longer a loving older brother, but a villain to be despised. Itachi sacrificed his name, his honor, and his family. He joined the Akatsuki, becoming an S-rank rogue ninja, forever branded as a traitor. But even this was part of his plan. He acted as a spy from within the organization, protecting Konoha from the shadows. His entire existence became a painful, elaborate performance. He threatened the elders to ensure Sasuke's safety, and occasionally appeared before his brother to stoke the flames of his hatred, all to make him stronger. His plan was as brilliant as it was tragic. He would allow Sasuke, the last Uchiha, to kill him. In doing so, Sasuke would not only achieve his revenge, but would be hailed as a hero by Konoha, restoring the honor of the Uchiha name. Itachi willingly shouldered the entire burden of the world's hatred, all so his beloved younger brother could live in the light. He destroyed Sasuke's mind, filled him with darkness, and subjected him to years of trauma, all under the twisted belief that this was the only way to save him. When death finally came for him, at the hands of the brother he had spent a lifetime protecting, we finally saw the truth. With his last breath, he smiled, poked Sasuke's forehead one last time, and spoke not as a villain, but as the loving older brother he had always been. Itachi Uchiha lived and died as the ultimate shinobi. In a world that values loyalty and sacrifice for the greater good, he embodied those principles to their most absolute, terrifying conclusion. He sacrificed his name, his family, his love, and his very soul for the sake of peace and for his brother. He was never a traitor. He was the most loyal leaf shinobi of all, a silent guardian who lived in darkness so that others could live in the light. The greatest Hokage who never wore the hat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like content like this. Thank you.